I'm back. Hey. You know, it's been a while since I felt unbridled rage. I actually hit my desk after the last crash. It's very rare that I do that. It's very rare that I outwardly express my anger. Anyways, I have soup. At least I have tasty soup. Raph made really good soup. It's like, it tastes almost like hot and sour soup, but whoops, I forgot to change the pilot. Tastes almost like hot and sour soup, but it's cabbage. It's like cabbage soup with pork. Let me change the location of the chat as well. I guess I won't be able to do the fucking RuneScape thing if it's gonna crash repeatedly after very little time for no particular reason. Like, I just can't fucking do it. Get out the weed. El Druggo. I'm gonna get up for a second. Just to scoot out the bowl. Out. You get pipe filling ASMR. Guess Chan didn't do anything wrong. No, but it was in a convenient location for me to punch. And Desk Chan gets off on it. Just like everyone else in this household, except for Primal, I guess. God, I've got so much random shit in front of me right now. Make like a makeshift filter with a single ply of toilet paper. Otherwise the thing gets clogged up because it's got a giant hole in it. Old busted up pipe. Maybe I should have taken out my rage on Raz instead. She would actually get off on it. Damn, for what? The old busted up pipe? The punching the desk? Or the shitty computer problems? Yes, the pipe. Well, that's not exactly something that's a huge issue. I just need to be careful about not overfilling it and making sure it's cleaned out. I need to clean it out soon. Alright, pipe is loaded. I have bread and soup. I'm going to eat it very angrily. I don't need my keyboard up, so I can push my monitor back. So I'm not actually going to be using my keyboard, because no RuneScape. Yeah, the reason, like, the biggest reason why I have been kind of distant from my emotions for a long time, and Old Eris as well, has been because they overwhelmed Raz originally, and I think Old Eris just learned to censor herself a lot more, but like passively. And I'm sort of realizing that's really hampered my ability to be enthusiastic about shit, and my like tendency to overthink. Like, it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing that has mixed good and bad, and the tendency was for it to be bad. But like, now that I'm in a better mental position, it's gonna help me get excited about shit, so I should bring it back, basically. Bring it back, actually start thinking about things a little bit more. Know how you stub your toe on tables? It's Table Chan getting revenge for all you've done to Desk Chan. Well, I never stubbed my toe, so clearly they aren't doing good enough, or alternatively, they like it. The soup is very good, though. I'm proud of Raph. She's a good cook. She's blushing in her head now. She just, like, the first batch was decent. It was decent. It wasn't anything special, but it was good. It was filling and warm and tasty. But then she just added a bunch of random spices, was like, I think this will be good in it. And now it tastes fucking delicious. This piece of bread. God, I have very little desk space. I need to clear it off my desk. Although that wouldn't change anything for the amount of space I have directly in front of me. Ding ding fuckers, use your Prime to get a free sub. I'm gonna be trying filling, warm, and tasty. Sounds amazing. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna be trying to you know what, okay, since I'm not playing any games and it shouldn't be an issue, I'm gonna bring those tabs up so that I can make sure it'll actually give notifications. Whoops. Cream Labs, there we go. So what was I saying? I was gonna say something, but I cut myself off twice to say other things. How do I never get to a damn point? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be being a little bit less bashful about asking for money. Also, just a random thing, but like, this is kind of an open thing. If anyone has any suggestions for improving the stream, one of my biggest issues with doing stream, is that I don't feel like I'm making progress on the actual stream stuff, and it's mainly because I just don't have the ideas. Like, I just don't have ideas for doing things. I don't have them fleshed out. I can't organize my thoughts very well. Rose is here to organize a lot more than I'm able to. But basically, if you have suggestions for improving stream, or like, say, emotes you want added, I have free emote slots, like ones that haven't been filled because I just can't think of ones. I guess I could go to other people's streams and see theirs. That would probably be a good idea. People have a lot of weird, like, emotes that don't really go anywhere, though. Like I want emotes that can actually be used for used in regular circumstances rather than just like channel memes. Yeah, the bread's kind of stale, but the soup is delicious. I've had a few ideas, but most of it relies on computer that can handle a bit more RAM being used up. Yeah, well, I can take low resource ideas. This is a pizza. This is a Pizza Tower song. God, Pizza Tower has a great soundtrack. It sounds almost like Triage at Dawn, which is a that Half-Life song, the Half-Life 2 song that everyone knows. Do 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 do. I think. I'm not. I don't know how good I am at maintaining tones. I'm an ass at the game, but the soundtrack is cool. I think I just have poor. I have poor like. It's gonna be weird for me to say this about myself, but I have poor throat control. At least when it comes to making noises. I'm ass at the game, but the soundtrack is cool. I haven't played the game. I've seen it played. I'm not sure whether I'd like playing it. I might. Yeah, this bread is degrading the taste of the soup, so I'm just gonna throw that away. Get shit out of my way. Oh, right, what I was gonna say way back when, I'm gonna be less shameless about asking for money. I need to get over that, and I need a new computer. Like, there's nothing against the practical reality. Like, I have to find some way to get a new computer, or I won't be able to stream. Like, I'll be able to stream on Primal's computer now that he has a job, but it's only 4 hours a night, and that means like we can't have that time to ourselves. Like, we don't need 4 hours a night 5 nights a week, at least from our own, like, from how we've gotten used to being in like, we've adapted pretty well to not being alone. And it seems like 4 hours a night is actually more than we need to de-stress. Weird as hell, but I can sing really, really well when my throat isn't sore, but actually talking, I can't control my tone as well. Or, weird. I feel like I can perfectly match so many songs, but not talk on the right pitch when I try. It's wild. For me, I think it's me I constrain my voice too much. Like, I try not to go too high because it makes my autism brain squick out. It's like, I don't want to be that loud. But in order to sing properly, you need to let your voice be unrestrained. You can't, like, moderate your tones. You have to make the tones. You have to make the right tones. That requires you to moderate it in certain ways, but not to keep it from going to those tones. The soup is tasty. Good food definitely calms me down a bit. Speaking of good food, though, we're going to a Korean barbecue buffet tomorrow. I haven't been to... I guess none of us have technically been to a restaurant. Like, old Eris obviously went to plenty of restaurants, but not me. And on top of that, it's Asian food. And on top of that, it's a buffet, which actually means that the food might not be as good, but still, it's a lot of food. And we've been craving something like this for a while. Speaking of sore throat, whatever the fuck was up with my throat is getting better. It might be, I mean, could just be the sickness abating, but also a click command. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on, like we've gotten a lot more able to organize thanks to Rose. So Rose was gonna be out most of tomorrow. I'm sure she could help me like get started on this stuff. Like she doesn't have to do it, but I think she can help me do it. So let me just start writing shit down, and this time I'll not make the mistake of fucking not saving the shit because I don't think I'll need it for the next hour. Or that was poorly worded, whatever. Okay, so clip command. You think I should just like add all the clips to that, or should it, or actually I don't know how they work. Do they just draw from your clips, or do you add like can you whitelist clips or something? I guess it would depend on what's what it's like, how you set it up. That's different programs that probably have different features. Okay, stream suggestions. There we go. It's actually saved. Actually, I'm gonna write something down too. A quote command. So I think that would be a really good one that Aldaris wanted to do for a long time but just never did. Yeah, Rose has been helping immensely. Like, the reason why I've been playing RuneScape and actually getting enthusiastic about doing a long-term goal in it, which I guess I just can't fucking do, or at least I can't do on stream, so it kind of defeats the point. I don't really want to do RuneScape unless it's on stream, or unless it's for stream. Like, I just don't think I get enough enjoyment out of it as a game itself. So I guess I just can't fucking do that. So all my enthusiasm from the last like 5 or 6 days thinking about this and working out how I'm gonna do it, and you know, actually doing it, and Rose like giving me a bunch of encouragement to do it. So all of that just led to nothing, basically. This is the big reason why old Eris really didn't like getting in elevated like mental states, because it always felt like there was a punch coming. And when we have to rely on faulty old hardware that desperately needs replacement, like there's no way we can make these sorts of plans without taking the potential risk of them just falling apart at any fucking moment. So basically I need to ask people for money. Like, if it makes me feel anxious or whatever, I just need to get the fuck over it. And Rose has been helping me get the fuck over a lot of things that I have issues with, so maybe it'll be easier if she directs me to do it. One thing I should try to look at positively is living in a neutral state, constantly neutral mood is no way to live. Even if it's ups and downs, I think it's better as long as those ups and downs aren't so extreme that they disable you. like the last, I don't know. I'll get back to my original point. Feeling enthusiasm again is very good. It's just fucking frustrating when it ends up making shit like this worse, because now I have investment in it. It feels a lot worse for it to fall through. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck, like, I said I'd try to think positively about it. Feeling enthusiasm, genuine enthusiasm, has been helping me. I'll just need to redirect it somewhere. I'm not sure where. Actually, you know what? No, fucking... The shitty old hardware is gonna make it impossible to do this. Alright, well, there's another piece of irritating info. We've been wanting to do a RimWorld game, like a proper RimWorld game, and I've been thinking about ideas and thinking about why why like old RimWorld games were ones that Old Air stuck through, and what were the like commonalities between those and the ones that she couldn't stick through. And I figured out that like the tighter the theme, the easier it was to stick through, and also the fewer characters. The Frank game, the only one she's completed, only had 2 major characters. Her like various like one person has control over a colony, and it's just following the exploits of that one person, basically. She stuck through all of, like, a bunch of those. But now with RimWorld, I can't fucking play it because my computer's gonna crash. I've been thinking about a bunch of ideas and shit. Like, I thought of a one inspired by Konosuba that I call Reject Adventurers. Basically, people who've gotten kicked out of their parties for what, like their adventuring parties, for one reason or another, like having a noxious personality or extremely specific powers, and then making a RimWorld game of like an adventuring party going around doing adventuring party things. And also I thought of a Shadowrun game that I mean, I guess that's an old idea, but I refined it a little bit. And now I just can't do it. I just can't, So where do I redirect the anger? At the sphere? The sphere hasn't done anything wrong, and the sphere's in my head, so I'd just be hurting myself. I should redirect it at Raz, because she gets off on it. I assume you're not hearing any real mouth sounds, but I am chewing right next to the mic. So, like, my options for stream are getting less and less. How about this? It's all Hat's fault. I don't think Hat gets off on... I don't think he gets off on the abuse. I think DL would. I could probably say it's like, I could probably tell DL this is all happening because he hasn't given me enough money, and he'd probably nut in his pants immediately. Not sure if you'd find it doable, but maybe if you still had the model making / art, you could stream that. I'm unsure about that one. I think I can do it off screen, but the model making program is pretty resource intensive, and I have to have multiple programs open and a bunch of browser tabs open to properly like do the modeling. And with my model, like with the model software running, the face tracking software running, and the stream running, and OBS displaying the screen, and you know, me wanting one of my tabs at least to have the stream actually running so I can see if it stutters and shit, I don't think it's gonna be doable. Like, I think right now most of what I'm gonna have to do will be like really low resource games, or games that I think games that have a lot less like VRAM usage are probably gonna be better, because I've always had issues with the graphics card. So probably just a lot of roguelikes. We've been thinking a lot about Cataclysm. Like, that could be a great game to do storyboarding and shit. Like, I wanna keep progressing, but I absolutely need a new computer before I can up a lot of things about stream. Like, even if I have the drive to. Why don't you do React Slop? Honestly, I've thought about it. But, you know, I thought about it and then immediately tried to justify it. Like, we go whenever we watch anything on stream, we'll go off on like 20-minute tangents about things. So is it even like actually reaction slot? I don't know if it'd be too simple for you, but Shattered Pixel Dungeon is remarkably simple graphics / RAM wise and free. Shattered Pixel Dungeon. It's $10 on Steam. Stream? I feel like I might have played this. The graphics look very similar to something I've already played. Is it like a decently complex roguelike? There's like a lot of Steam roguelikes are just too simple. Like they don't last very long. I can't really get into them. Check itch.io. Make sure you read the tutorial to try that game. There's some key features that aren't self-explanatory. Yeah, that's every roguelike. Deceptively complex, but feels simple at first. Those are usually the best because they're good. They have a good learning curve. Shattered Pixel Dungeon. I'll just game suggestions. Shattered Pixel Dungeon. There we go. I didn't realize till just today that you can actually throw stuff at non-standard angles. What do you mean? Like, can you throw from a tile adjacent to yours? Played some roguelikes with that as a feature. Or like peeking and shooting. So you can like move around a corner but remain invisible and shoot at something that you can't see, like from your actual position. Cataclysm has peeking through doors as well. You can move to peek on a door and it'll look through the door hole if it has one, which is really cool. Or the peephole, I guess. You have to do some mental math and throw past the tile you're aiming at so it goes at a shallow angle, clipping the corner of a tile that has an enemy. Right, okay. That's interesting. I mean, I guess that's basically this. Actually, you know what? No, that's really standard, actually. Now I'm thinking of Quasimorph, which you pretty frequently fire into the dark at tiles. CDDA is similar. Instead of shooting at a zombie, you shoot into a crowd. The soup is so fucking tasty, but also the tingliness in the back of my throat and the pepperiness is making it hard to talk without my throat clenching out. Rise attacks are very much your go-to for that game. Yeah, I think I will play Cataclysm. Cataclysm's resource intensive, but it's like processor intensive rather than video card, and with all of the like all other video stuff like the face tracking software and the stream displays, like just doing video intensive stuff is really bad. Could become an algebra streamer. You could just do math questions all stream. Actually, I was thinking earlier, not along those lines at all, but doing a doing lewd streams. I don't have to like I don't have to shove something up my butt, but I mean, I literally have a cum trigger in my brain. People could pay to make me cum on stream. Math is the least horny school subject. Well, then it would be a challenge, wouldn't it? There's this like image of English teachers being like busty older women with glasses, but then math teachers are like old men. Old uptight men. Which is basically the least sexy kind of person. Well, not the least sexy, but definitely up there. The kind of person who only like has sex for procreation purposes. That stereotype was genuinely a thing for my entire school. Yeah, I mean, different kinds of people are attracted to different professions. These sorts of stereotypes don't exist for no reason. Like, the majority of STEM field, like, top STEM field people are men, because men just tend to think more technically. And then, you know, the women at the top are all fucking autistic, because autistic people think way more technically. Alrighty. I'm sloshing. My stomach is sloshing around, filled with hot, warm, salty fluids. And meat grease. Uptight old man isn't unattractive. What's unattractive is people with social studies degrees. Okay, I think both. We get. I'm saying uptight old men because they're basically sexless. They're the kind of people who, like, haven't touched their wives in 2 years. They have a bunch of kids, but haven't like laid a finger on their wife in the last 2 years. For people with social studies degrees, it's all just like a bunch of self-righteousness. It's a lot more noxious. It's like one is just uninteresting in the extreme, and the other is is really up their own ass. Another roguelike that's pretty good and free as Caves, but that one is technically a mobile game. Not sure if there's a PC version. That one has a much steeper learning curve. I don't mind steep learning curves as long as they're of a certain type. Like, I just can't seem to get into games like Dwarf Fortress very well. Like, I know I'm big into RimWorld, even if I haven't played it in a while. You know how much I talk about it. Like, RimWorld is so much easier for my brain, but like once it gets into all the management stuff and there's not like a bunch of icons that are easily recognizable, it starts scrambling me. Like, the lists, they just don't give me enough internal info. Like, my brain just doesn't keep attached to that sort of info. It's nowhere near as complex as Dwarf Fortress, that's for sure. Yeah, you could say that about anything. Nothing is as complex as Dwarf Fortress. At least not games-wise. It's a lot of how the fuck do you deal with that until it just clicks with Caves. Right. Math teachers have as much taste as chalk people with social studies degrees are waiting to get... What? As chalk? Oh, right. Even social right, okay, that's 2 sentences. Waiting to get shot. Like I said, different sorts of bad. Granted, I'm also just terrible at turn-based combat and think Darkest Dungeon has a hard learning curve, so take it with a grain of salt. The learning curve for Darkest Dungeon? I don't think that's crazy, but the game itself, like I've said plenty of times, I don't like Darkest Dungeon. I like Darkest Dungeon. I like everything about Darkest Dungeon except for the game. It's unfair. I don't like games that are just blatantly unfair. With roguelikes, it's a lot more bearable because 1, building characters is fun. 2, the early parts of the game aren't necessarily uninteresting, so it has a lot of they have a lot of replay value from the get-go. Whereas Darkest Dungeon, you have to go through a bunch of tutorial bullshit. You have to unlock everything. And you can just have a run, you could have a run basically ended just because you got unlucky. It's like, yeah, you can just leave the map, but if you leave the map, all of your people take stress damage, which takes time and money to cure, which you just lost because you went on an expedition and came back prematurely, and now you don't have any fucking loot. The game punishes you for getting unlucky, which is especially bad in my eyes. Roguelikes punish you for not knowing the game well enough. That's just the learning curve. There's steep learning curves. Darkest Dungeon, though, is just like, if you don't take the safe option every time, you're gonna regret it. And roguelikes tend to heavily reward experimentation. I feel like roguelikes defy metas. Like, they purposefully and very actively defy metas. But Darkest Dungeon is a game that succumbs very heavily to meta. We'll say for Shadowed Pixar Dungeon, once you beat it, there's several options to make it harder. 9 total challenges, each of which greatly change how you play, all compatible with each other. Each class plays super differently. That sounds good. That's why Tales of Maj'El has remained at, like, top of the list for me. One of my top, like, games of all time, but also roguelikes of all time. Like, when you beat the game, you get the Adventurer class. There's a bunch of classes, and they all have a whole shitload of, like, skill trees. And then the races all have skill trees as well. Once you beat the game, you get the Adventurer class, which just gives you a bunch of category points, which you can spend on any or almost any skill trees in the game, so you can totally customize your thing. And considering there's like 200 skill trees base game, or basically each skill tree just has 4 skills on it. They just linearly progress, so it's more like a skill branch, but they're independent, so it's more like a skill sapling? I don't know. My favorite song from Pizza Tower. Okay, one thing I could look forward to, despite all the stream fuckery. Rose was already planning to do things to me tonight. A skill stick. Rose was already planning to do things to me tonight, and she basically said that, like, after I do this, we'll just relax together, and she'll do a horrible, unspeakable things to me, and that'll probably release a lot of the tension. Really upsets me that I can't, like, properly pursue the RuneScape or the RimWorld things right now. There's a new RimWorld DLC coming out, by the way. It just announced RimWorld Odyssey. You know, why don't I talk about that? Because it actually looks really interesting. Like, I didn't do like a more critical examination of the Anomaly DLC pre-release. I probably could have seen some of the blood in the water for it not being very interesting if I did, so I'm gonna actually go through this and give my thoughts on it. You done any horn fucking yet? She's the one fucking me, so she doesn't have horns. So no. Still waiting on my dildo. Well, I have no doubt you're gonna like it. Bad Dragon dildos are quite good. They kind of justify the high price. Okay, let's see. Let me just bring this up. Suppose I could just put it on screen, huh? Snap the horns off and shove them up the ass. You know, she hasn't done much really, like, sadistic stuff to me. It's mostly spent on Raz. I'm more of a just, like, get fucked until I break and pass out and cry a whole bunch sort of person than a, you know, like, get punched in the stomach and come sort of person like Raz is. And I couldn't imagine horns getting broken off as anything other than painful as hell. Like, I imagine it would be similar to tooth pain, even. It's around the same area with the, like, same amount of nerves is connected to a lot of the same stuff and made out of a similar material. If it's attached to the skull, it probably has, like, blood vessels going all through it. And nerves and shit. Okay, let me get this up. I saw a never mind. It's a little bit confusing to say. Let me get my big head off the screen. Right. Alrighty. Alright, RimWorld Odyssey. It's just announced on like the 11th, I think. I actually saw it right after it came out, despite like never paying attention to this stuff. So far, what I've seen looks really good. I don't think it'll fall into the same... I guess I should probably read this stuff first. Horns have blood flow. The goats can feel when I touch their horns. I'm not pulling on them, just touching them. Yeah, horns tend to be pretty sensitive. And that's actually how they feel in our head, too. They feel like when people touch them, it kind of gives me like a warm, fuzzy, happy feeling. It's kind of like touching my neck. You know, it's weird that we seem to be able to... It's not even like we're trying to simulate these sensations. Well, we are trying to simulate the sensations. It's not like we're thinking about how they feel. They just feel a certain way. We just get different sensations from different extra body parts, we imagine. Anywho, honestly, the build your own grab ship thing is the least of what I'm interested in, though it's probably the main feature. Let's see. Build your own ship and travel across the planet, land anywhere you want to hunt for treasure, harvest food and fuel, and bring back souvenirs like exotic birds, long-forgotten GravTech, or a gold-plated charge rifle. And play fucking CSGO in RimWorld. Grab ship starts small. Grab engine a few rooms, enough chem fuel to lift off, but over time it'll become a home. Basically, they're adding Save Our Ship for RimWorld. Like, or Save Our Ship, the mod, into base game. Collect grab cores to expand your grab ship and travel further. Find them and all these other things that seem more interesting, to be honest. I feel like the grab ship is something that's going to be used on certain playthroughs, a whole lot like Anomaly. Like, it's probably going to be really interesting in the playthroughs where it's used. Otherwise, like, if you're playing a tribal playthrough, are you going to get this ever? I'm sure you can if you progress far enough, but some people just like doing low-tech playthroughs. So this is going to be something that is explicitly for high-tech playthroughs. So putting it as the main feature, like, it's definitely flashy, a cool idea, but I feel like this will be the least interesting of it just because it's not going to expand the, like, story generation capabilities very much. And I think that's where Anomaly failed, is that Anomaly playthroughs turn everything into Anomaly, and it's just not very interesting on its own. Anomaly could have been amazing if they had, like, a lot more random events and a lot fewer creatures. Or maybe, like, the same number of creatures. The creatures are pretty good, but they're just fights, and RimWorld combat on its own isn't very interesting. Like, you have to mod it out severely for it to be interesting. So Anomaly playthroughs just ended up replacing a lot of base game events rather than adding on, which turned it into an Anomaly playthrough. So the entire like mod, or the entire expansion or DLC, whatever, just ended up kind of falling flat because of that. What more Zenith types? Zenith, what do you mean? Factions. Yeah, more factions would be good. I wish they would add more factions. There's only like 6 or 7 factions, and they add like 1 or 2 each DLC. And to be honest, they're just like showcases of the DLC rather than being unique. So like the Neanderthal tribes, it's just tribals who are Neanderthals. Like, yeah, okay, the Neanderthal tribes, maybe that was a poor one to pick because they actually change a lot of raids pretty drastically. Like, Neanderthals are so fucking tough in RimWorld. it's actually, you need like special measures to deal with them. Like you can't engage them in melee combat at all or you get ripped limb from limb. Anyways, let's go on to the things that are more interesting to me. What's the difference between cannibal raiders and raiders? Yeah, exactly. There's no fucking difference. It's like, the wasters use specific weapons. Great. Cool. None of what's interesting about them shows through. Because like what's interesting about them isn't geared towards raids, it's geared towards player colonies. It's like the Impids are slightly more interesting, but in the end it's just extra fire. They're not doing anything interesting, like, outside of that. Anyways, this one's adding a bunch of biomes, which is really, really good, because RimWorld is sorely lacking in biomes. Basically every mod pack requires some sort of biome mod to not look basically the same. There's a lot of good biome mods too, so them finally adding biomes, that's really, really good. There's a glow forest. Bioluminescent mushrooms and psychedelic spores glow in the permanent darkness. Geothermal belch sulfur. Normal plants can't grow here. You'll need to survive on fungi alone. See, this is something that allows for a very unique playthrough. Like, much more than this. Or not much more than this, but like in a lot more situations than this. And this is just a single biome. Having permanent darkness is already a very like it's a way that people play the game heavily modded. Need more animal variety. There's gonna be like 30 more animals added to this one. That's another thing that I'm looking forward to. Let's see. Geothermal vents belch sulfur. I'm not sure what that means. Is it gonna like be like tox gas or something? Or do you need special geothermal plants to vent it out or something like that? Normal plants can't grow here. You'll need to survive on fungi. So normal plants can't grow because of permanent darkness or because like the biome doesn't allow them to. Because if the biome doesn't allow them to, that would suck. That would kind of make the biome terrible. If it's the darkness and you can like overcome it with lamps and like hydroponic sprays, then that's good. Acidity. I mean, it just says they belch sulfur. I don't imagine that's like sulfuric acid. I would assume it's some gas. There's already a gas system in the game, so I would imagine it's just like either it endlessly releases tox gas, or it just needs a special building to process. I can't think of anything else that it would be. Maybe it could be they could be surrounded by sulfuric acid. I don't know. The Scarlands are the war-torn remains of once thriving cities. Craters rupture the roads, vents release heat and gas. Again with the fucking gas release. Is that gonna be an actual thing? Is there gonna be like terrain that spews out gas? And toxic rain pours constantly. Mechanoids stalk the ruins, and the only surviving animals are dangerous mutants. This seems like an interesting biome. Maybe a little bit more boring than this. It just seems like a relatively hostile biome, which RimWorld's kind of lacking in. So it's filling a niche that ought to have been filled ages ago. Let's see. The grasslands are a ranging cowpoke stream, endless fields of golden fertile land. While trees are rare, the growing seasons are long and bountiful. Strong winds guarantee power for your turbines. Drought can strike at any time, and many farms have been lost to raging brush fires. That seems quite plain Jane, to be honest. Like, just temperate forests are basically... you could describe the same thing with a temperate forest, and it would be a temperate forest. Could add factions which only spawn in certain biomes with a strict item list they can use. Yeah, that would be cool. Having a built-in faction customizer would be great, too. Like, if it, like, it's a story generator. To be honest, a lot of the things should just be left up to the player. They should have a lot more options. Like, obviously having, like, presets and stuff is good. But, like, being able to, I don't know, at the very least, randomize and, like, name faction leaders, and, like, you can customize their ideologies. That doesn't tend to change much, though. Except for the things they wear. You can at least add things that they wear consistently. But then it only allows you to, like, add religious clothing rather than, like, power armor and shit like that. It's like, ah, yeah, you can give them all a burqa. Cool. Alright, now I get a bunch of people coming down at me with charge rifles and burqas. Wow, how original. It's just like Dune. Let's see. Glacial plains feel prehistoric, blizzards smother the land, herds of mastodons roam, and scimitar cats prowl the frozen expanse. Carve shelters into walls of ice or seek refuge. Oh, there's an ad. Among the buried frozen ruins, live as the old ones did. This doesn't sound interesting. This sounds like... This sounds like a mountainous, like, temperate forest with an ice theme. Like, animals on their own are never particularly a threat because of how they act in RimWorld. They can't open doors, they can't bash down doors unless they see things through them, and they only go at them for a little while. So having just big animals around doesn't really change much unless you're playing like a very low-tech playthrough and you have like resource scarcity. Add a diplomatic system so the other factions aren't just raiders or people you trade with occasionally. That would be a lot more complicated. They should do a whole DLC that changes faction interactions and adds quests and various other world shit. Anyways, the Glacial Plains, they don't sound interesting at all. They sound like the Scarlands, but slightly less unique. Lava fields never stay still. Rivers of molten rock flow across the land in sudden bursts, swallowing up animals, buildings, and colonists alike. Volcanic debris crashes down from the sky, and thick ash makes it hard to breathe. Stay safe by building barriers to divert incoming lava, and wear a cloth mask to protect your lungs. This sounds very interesting. This sounds like functional opposite of Glacial Plains, and also it's a lava level versus an ice level, so more to the opposite. This actually sounds very neat. If they have a lot of like unique weather effects for this stuff, then I could see it being interesting. Like the Glacial Plains would definitely be a more interesting biome if they say like in this there's just constant blizzards going which slow down your movement heavily, which necessitates condensing your buildings and like covering walkways and shit. It could completely change the way you build if they use weather effects well. Wow, that looks really lit up for an area of permanent darkness. The indoors is less lit up than outdoors. Let's see. Lava Field seems really interesting. It also seems like it could be frustrating, and potentially you never use it because of that. But we'll just have to see. Alright, let's see. The new landmark system combines with new biomes to create endless landscape variation. Dig a sprawling colony into the rock face of cliffs, chasms, crevasses, and valleys for natural defenses, an undergrounder's dream. Okay, so they're adding a bunch of terrain features. That's a great... Like, this is all stuff that they should have added a long time ago. Like, probably with, either the... No, I think things needed a more, other faction expansion early on, so I think this probably would have been good either after royalty or after ideology. In any case, there's going to be a bunch of biome features. Build a coastal fishing village atop heavy bridges by settling on islands, archipelagos, atolls, peninsulas, and fjords. There's a very popular RimWorld mod that basically adds all of these terrain features. Literally adds every single one of these is a terrain feature in that. There's also like inlets and fissures through mountains, which are just like a long stretch, like a long, very thin valley. There's like caldera lakes and normal calderas, and there's a lot. And if they add even a fraction of them, it's gonna make the maps a hell of a lot more interesting. Normally have anomaly turned off because it's generally just a nuisance, because everything in ads is just a danger to your colony. Nothing you want is all just working to get rid of something. Yeah, it's just a threat, which in certain instances is cool. Like Mr. Streamer's like Permanent Darkness, like Norse medieval playthrough. I can't remember what it was called. Basically the one where the darkness eats you. Anomaly fit that perfectly. It was really fun. It was really interesting. However, in normal playthroughs, it's just additional things that attack you. Like, yeah, there's cool structures and shit, but you have to manage them, otherwise they go out of control. You have to have a fucking containment facility if you want to get into it at all. And it just feels like it's kind of stapled on. It's not expanding RimWorld. It's its own thing. Alright, let's see. Take over abandoned colony buildings and repurpose them for your own base. They add a bunch of like preset structures that would be good. Raid ancient structures for resources like chem fuel, weapons, components, minerals, and more. If they add things that are like more ancient dangers or things similar to ancient dangers, that sounds good too. Like really, I'm sure this is like the flagship, so to speak, for this DLC. But I feel like they should, like, RimWorld players who are getting this DLC, and it is just the players who have already played RimWorld, because no one's gonna buy like 4 DLCs right off the bat unless they really invested in it. So they should be marketing this to RimWorld players. They should take this and they should put it like near the bottom as a big like also there's an entire system where you can travel around on a spaceship you build, and then have like all of the terrain generation and new biomes and stuff closer to the top, because that's shit that RimWorld has needed for a long time, and RimWorld players recognize that. They see this, and like me, they're probably going to be slightly skeptical because Anomaly kind of fell flat on its face, and it added really situational stuff like this, primarily. Don't even get a choice into an Anomaly because they start on your map. You have to get into them to get them off your map. They have changed it so that you can like, so that obelisks don't activate, or monoliths, whatever the fuck they're called, don't activate automatically. But yeah, it's just there. So if you want to build in that location, you can't. It's like, sure, there's other features like geothermal plants, but those are things you build around and use in your colony. If you're just ignoring Anomaly, what's the point in having it there? It's the same thing with the Mechanator ship, which I have actually never used. I've never busted that ship and like made someone a Mechanator. or Mechanitor, whatever the fuck the pronunciation is. Alright, let's see. Survive beyond the atmosphere, fly a grav ship into orbit, land on collapsed orbital platforms or rich asteroids. This is really interesting. And hollowed out satellites. More biome expansion in space? I mean, again, it's applying to the thing that's going to be a lot more situational, but that means that you can go down a lot less narrow a path than Anomaly. If it's not just like the ship is the primary feature, but the ship allows you to do a whole bunch of other shit, like doing space stuff, then it becomes a totally different sort of playthrough. And it's not like, it doesn't seem like it'll be as restricted as Anomaly. Since it's a thing that allows you to explore a lot, I would assume that a lot of the stuff would be based around exploration, which is going to inherently be a lot more varied and interesting than something that's really focused and not filled with variable shit. Search through the debris for treasure, but be prepared for a fight with other orbital scavengers. Mechanoid Rex promise advanced grav tech and resources for your ship if you can make it past their ancient inhuman defenses. Space is a harsh place, so build your ship to survive. Airtight walls protect your colonists and their pets from the vacuum of space. Heaters keep the interiors warm, while oxygen pumps provide life support. Build airlocks with back barrier. It's just like, don't die to space stuff. All right, basically that's a requisite for the ship. Cute, terrifying, and intelligent wildlife. Adds over 40 new animals that can be tamed, trained, traded, or eaten. Hey, guess what? There's also something in here. Where is it? Even creatures with simpler minds can be trained by injecting them with a sentience catalyst. You can make any creature trainable. That is a genuinely really, really good addition. Like a fantastic addition. So anyone who now wants to train a swarm of attack geese, you can. I don't think geese... I'm pretty sure geese are simple trainability in base game RimWorld, so you can't train them to attack. Also add the Z-level mod. The Z-level mod seems like it would be a coding nightmare. It causes so many issues in mod packs. It would be cool, like, it's very cool in concept, but, like, how do you handle pathfinding to different Z levels when the game isn't coded for different Z levels? It's gonna end up like Cataclysm, where nothing will wander into basements. And then you're just safe forever. Alright, let's see. Watch your colorful flock of sparrows or bluebirds take flight. Raise a hunting pack of scimitar cats and great wolves. Go swimming with seals and otters, or just keep the cutest ones as pets. Okay, it's just showcasing, or it's just showing a bunch of the animals. The biggest thing I'm concerned with this is that animals in the game are really resource intensive, and having too many animals in your colony is a one-way ticket to having the colony get destroyed by lag. If they've improved like the resource, like the job acquisition and shit of the animals, and maybe, I don't know, I don't really know how exactly it works, but I imagine they're making I imagine one of the things that's an issue is them making too many checks for what they're trying to do, because RimWorld Pawns, they have a queue of checks that they do, so they're basically checking if they have new jobs available. I'd imagine one of the reasons why animals are so laggy is because they're also doing the checks despite not doing fucking anything. They're like searching for food and shit. So if they've improved like animal resource cost, and also I'd say you need some sort of thing that tames animals without direct intervention by pawns, because animal taming and training is just a very, very time-intensive job. It's like you're going around individually to each bird and hand-feeding them while you train them for like 2 hours in a day. It's not feasible to do it with a lot of animals. And there's nothing that speeds up animal taming speed. So they could probably just add in animal taming speed as a stat for animal handling, or for the animal skill, and that would probably fix a lot of that issue. I have a feeling that's not the case. I imagine that they're probably just adding 40 new animals, and then the sentience catalyst sounds great. Let's see. Animals are more than just companions. They nuzzle you, colonists comfort them. That space game doesn't matter. They dig and forage for resources is certainly interesting. That's something that's in a few mods. It's kind of a really tertiary thing in those mods. I don't know how, like, say if pigs could forage for like mushrooms and sustain your colony off of that, that would be fucking incredible. But if it's just like a few mushrooms here and there, there's not going to be any point to it. Let's see. You can also go fishing, bring home big catches like tuna, marlin, and more unusual finds. Vanilla fishing expanded! Woo! I have a feeling... I have a feeling this will just be a nice little addition. Just a nice little addition, probably no bells and whistles. Quest across the planet and beyond. You'll discover quests from ancient maps, passing visitors, and anonymous signals. I feel like they're taking a lot of inspiration from mods. Almost everything here has been added by one major mod or another. The ancient map, like actually the books as well, from Ideology, I think it was? Or no, is it from whatever the genetics one is called? DLC doesn't look like it really has a theme, it's more like random crap. The thing is, RimWorld needs more random crap. I think the theme is exploration. Like, there's a lot of new things to look at, and a ship that allows you to go around looking at new things. And I think that RimWorld is desperately in need of new things rather than, like, new things to expand on their base shit, because they just keep adding new systems instead. And it's like, yeah, the new systems are great when they're done well, but we don't have variety in animals or biomes or pre-gen structures. We need all of those. It's like first thing you mod into the game is like things to make the terrain more interesting. Let's see. Discover quests from ancient maps, passing visitors, and anonymous signals. More quests would be good. That's another thing that's needed. I think this is just the like variety expansion. What about new clothes variety? Yeah, that's an important one too. It would be nice if they had I don't know, like a style DLC. Like a DLC that just like it adds more clothing styles, adds a bunch of different clothing types that give like work bonuses. Like vanilla apparel expanded. Track down the mythical Alpha Thrumbo by following its herds across the wilderness. Okay, so it's a, like, I assume a multi-step hunt. Raid ancient mercenary crypts where the soldiers have recently awoken from cryptosleep. They guard glitter world supplies, and the gang leader owns a valuable weapon that could be yours. Just raid by another name. If they make the terrain and the raid, like the people who defend it, interesting, then it could be fun. But otherwise, it's just a standard raid quest, at least from what it sounds like. Abandoned orbital platforms and derelict satellites drift through low orbit. They promise stockpiles of loot, but you're competing with hostile salvage crews. Sometimes orbital fugitives hole up in the wreckage. There are defensive turrets, traps, and leftover mechanoids. If this takes advantage of, like the systems that will hopefully be introduced by the ship, then it could be very interesting. Like, say you have to use, like, say you have to have, like, oxygen and stuff for your colonists. Maybe they have oxygen limits or something. No, I don't think it's gonna be that. It's probably just gonna be fly into a map and then float in the void to the objects and then raid them. The only armor which is for your legs, for your leg slot, is flak pants. God, is it really? I can't think of another one. Hey Duke, what up? I crashed twice, and I can't do RuneScape because it's gonna fucking crash. So instead, I'm doing a like rundown of the new RimWorld DLC and talking about potential features. Sounds infuriating. Yeah, it really fucking is. I was actually in a rage earlier. I haven't been like that in a while. I fucking hit my desk and everything. Okay. Defensive turrets, traps, and leftover mechanoids. Again, could just be standard raid, which is not very interesting. Asteroid mines offer rich veins of plasteel, uranium, and gold, but they're vulnerable to pirates and debris from space. It feels like they're adding just a lot of things from mods that everyone puts in automatically. I fall asleep. Okie dokie, hope you sleep well. I mean, it's stuff that RimWorld needs. Like, even if it's just map variety in the raids, it's something. But I hope they have unique scenarios. Or ones that are a bit more than just go in, kill enemies, get loot. Because, like, what are these? This is go in, kill enemy, get loot. Go in, kill enemy, get loot. Fucking, go in, get loot, kill enemy. I write about my dreams later. Okie doke. Asteroid mines. Go in, mine loot, kill enemy. Okay, new weapons, traps, and enemies. New unique weapon system. Oh, I actually haven't read this. Lets you arm your colonists with special weapons they find. A sawed-off shotgun clears the room in a second. An AI-assisted rifle scope makes the worst shooter accurate. A fully golden revolver just looks cool. New gear helps with new threats. Hunter drones chase their targets and explode on contact. Wasp drones jab their prey with paralyzing needles. Ancient sentries patrol ruins with a scattergun to blast apart intruders. A Cyclops mechanoid barrages enemies with shield-piercing gamma beams. And deep below, the insect hive queen stirs among her chittering spawn. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down. These don't seem very unique, in all honesty. One of them just sounds like it increases your shooting accuracy, and one of them it sounds like it's good in close quarters. And then one probably just increases your beauty bonus, I would assume. Like, if you can customize the weapons and it's a decent amount of customizations, then it could be good. But if it's just like a few stat bonuses, it's not going to be interesting. New gear helps with new threats. 100 runes chase their targets and explode. I take it these are things that you can release. I would assume they're like active abilities that you recharge, like a jump pack. Unless they're talking about enemies. Is that a new threat or is that new gear? Because every single one of these could be a threat. Or was this the gear? If these are like jump pack style, you release a little robot, that would be cool. I would really like that. If they're just enemies, eh. Like a homing grenade sounds like, honestly, just a huge headache to fight. They should release Rim Job World as a DLC. If only we lived in that reality. Ancient Sentries patrol ruins. Well, they're not very sentry, are they? You know, because sentry is like standing still. Just should sentry meaning soldiers stationed to keep guard or control access to a place. Like someone sentried in a place is someone who is like positioned there. I guess it doesn't necessarily mean it's they're like locked to a very specific location. The only pants are pants, kid pants, flak pants. Yeah, there's not a lot of variety in basic RimWorld stuff, which is unfortunate. Mods kind of have to make up the slack. So I am actually pretty hopeful for this DLC, like just because it's a bunch of stuff that they need in the game. And it seems like it's all based around exploration, which is something that's severely lacking in the base game. I mean base game including DLCs. Like versus modded playthrough. Let's see. Anything else? The scattergun. Alright, it's a robot and another robot, another mechanoid, barrages enemies with shield piercing gamma beams. Oh god. Anti-shield belt enemies? That could change up how you play a decent amount. You'd have to pick them as priority targets if they're particularly dangerous. I feel like the mechanoid expansions with Biotech, I think, were actually quite good. Like the additional mechanoids they added. The amount you have to kill them to do anything is an issue, but the variety in raids is a hell of a lot better. Let's see. The Machine Hive Mind. Far above the planet, the Mech Hive pulses with hate. Its mechanoids reproduce endlessly, and they will never stop attacking until every human on the planet is dead. Oh, you mean normal RimWorld. When you reach the inhuman mind behind this terror, you face a choice. So will you destroy it and shut down every mechanoid for good, or take control of its power? Okay, so I'm guessing that this is a new win condition, a new win quest. So raid a mech hive, take control or destroy it. I'm betting this is an end quest. One of my nephews, which plays, basically has tasks expanded and vanilla clothing expanded. They play functionally vanilla. Tasks expanded? What's that? Or was that speech to text fucking up? Overall, I'm pretty optimistic about this one. I feel like I said earlier, I could probably have smelled the blood in the water if I examined Anomaly more closely before it released, but actually, why don't I go to that and see? Price is $25 too.
I don't have long.
No. What? Was that voice?
I don't have long. You need to know what happened, how to stop it.
That's so
The
fucking.
monolith. We came here to study it.
This is so cheesy.
We awoke it. Twisted creatures emerged from the void. We fought for our lives. Beasts and machines. A sphere of metallic death. But we adapted, trapped them, studied them, learned the void's secrets.
Oh my
Turned
god.
monsters into tools, made them serve us.
I can't watch this anymore. It's too much. Jesus, I didn't expect a RimWorld playthrough or RimWorld trailer to have a voice. Back from lurking, I enjoy what I said in Lootery properly. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I saw some of the stuff and it looked pretty good. Need to look. Wait, what? Need to look down. This is self-explanatory. Well, I just wanted to see if I could have like guessed that it wasn't going to be very good as a DLC. Let's see. Five flesh infestation, cultists attack, shambling undead, blood rains, invisible hunters, other sanity shredding perils. I think they just named off like all of their more interesting anomalies. Capture and study entities to harness the power of the void, conduct psychic rituals, and awaken evil machine god. That immediately sounds really interesting. Accidentally awaken a dark monolith and provoke an insane machine mind of unfathomable power. Its terrifying manifestation begins to haunt the world. Survive these strange happenings as you study new phenomena and learn how to end the madness. It doesn't really say much about the gameplay at all, apart from the studying new phenomena. Horror stories of every kind. No. Horror stories of one kind. It's not just about fighting monsters. Okay. Alright, so what I'm getting from this is that they are selling it on potentials for the DLC. So that kind of makes me a little bit more skeptical of the the one I just did. Speaking of, if anyone is interested in what's more, I sent to the Discord. Yep, there's the Discord if you're interested in that. Harpy gender swap porn. And cuttlefish slurping on the guy's face. Cuttlefish girl, rather. Oh, speaking of, think of the day for the third fucking time. Monster girls / boys. Maybe I should do some... Oh, slime girls and boys, fuck yeah. Maybe I should do some more specific fetishes as well. I've been doing a lot of general ones lately. General fetish! Okay, let me continue reading this. Psychically invisible hunter of human souls screeches outside your walls, returning every night to capture a new victim. Revenants are interesting, but they kind of make the game slow to a crawl. Not in, like, resource-wise, but you have to be paying attention to a whole bunch of shit. Like, trying to make sure you know when it is gonna attack you. Revenants, I feel like, are one of the more interesting. Ding ding, come get your harpy. Come get your harpy, cloaca. Helps me I'm down to look for more specific fetishes, helps me expand my favorites page. Yee. Revenants are interesting, but also having more than like 2 of them in a full game becomes really tedious. Massive flesh creature is growing across the landscape, consuming and covering the whole map with a quivering mass of meat. Oh fuck, my favorite. Quivering masses of meat. Flesh sacks and tentacle creatures. I want to get stuck in one of those. Anyways. Defends itself with beasts and acid. Fight it to get samples of its nervous system. Then study them till you can venture to its heart and kill it for good. Again, this is probably one of the more interesting ones, though it is just a lot of fighting. It's kind of more like a room clearing thing. When you destroy the flesh, it can spawn the flesh beasts, but it can also like reveal areas that have flesh beasts in them. So it's kind of like a slow and steady push through an area, and you go to specific points to try to get things that you need to kill the flesh mass heart. It's a pretty interesting one, but again, if you have more than a couple of them for a playthrough, it becomes tedious. Parasite has mind-controlled some of the colonists, but who? Metal Horrors, similar issue with Revenants, but not as severe. They're also just not a very interesting, like from a gameplay perspective, they're not very interesting. They're just an enemy. It's also weird that they can't infect you with Metal Horrors when the Metal Horror attacks you. Kind of bizarre. Flesh Beasts can infect you with Metal Horrors, but not Metal Horrors. Ding ding, get your harpy meat. Some of them were fucked to death. Raz as a harpy. Your colonists become obsessed with a beautiful golden cube. One by one, they build statues of the cube. They worship the cube. They love the cube. Unironically and ironically, the biggest banger. I don't care what anyone says about the cube. Everything about the cube makes me giggle, and I think it's a great addition. You should be able to turn it off though, because it is a huge pain in the ass of an event. I guess you can turn it off in the scenario editor. You could just disable this specific event. A corpse arrives, it looks exactly like one of your colonists and seems to follow them. I've only seen the strange corpse, or whatever the hell it's called, a couple times, and those were in other people's playthroughs, and they didn't really focus on them. I don't really remember what it does. I just remember it makes a clone of your character, and I think there's some wrong shit with them. It seems interesting, but also if you have, say, a clone of your main character and you want it to be a single character playthrough, but like, or you really don't want a clone of that character, but like can't justify killing them based on whatever criteria you set. I mean, this is all stuff that a standard RimWorld player is not gonna care about at all, because they're just gonna be like, what's this? Kill them. But I like to play the stuff with a little bit of role-playing in mind. Tying up Raz's wings does sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, eating Raz's wings, deep fried and battered. Okay, let's see. A pulsating obelisk appears. Its dark power is unknown. It may duplicate people, teleport them to a realm of infinite gray mazes, or violently mutate them with new fleshy appendages. Learn what it does and overload it. I'm iffy on the obelisks. The teleportation obelisk is frustrating. The mutation one is, I'd say, more gameplay-wise fun. What was the other one? Duplicate people. I can't remember what that. I think that duplicates people, and if the thing goes out of control, the duplicates turn on you. I can't remember exactly though. I don't think I've ever gotten that one or seen it in a playthrough. I don't know. They just end up being more hassle than they're worth. In like, they see this almost all of this stuff seems very interesting on the face of it. They definitely sold the DLC well, but I don't think they did it well. Battered in both ways. When you find something new, an anomaly, it's how do I destroy you? Yeah, exactly. It ends up becoming it ends up becoming just what do we do to get rid of this thing? It's like, even with the cube, which I think is a really fun event, it's just about studying the cube so you can break the cube's hold over your colonists and then get rid of the cube. It's like, but I don't want to get rid of the cube. I want to worship the cube. I want to build a religion about the cube. Why don't you give me different branching paths for the cube? It seems like too interesting an event. You could have an entire quest line based around the cube. It's basically what SCPs fell into, where big dangerous thing must kill it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why the non-monster things of SCP don't get more love. Like, the monsters aren't very interesting. They're just like, yeah, this is how this thing is totally undefeatable and can kill you in a very specific, horrifying way. It's not like the coffee machine that if you ask it to give you the best drink in existence, you will kill yourself because nothing can ever match up to the tastiness of the drink. It's like, that's interesting. The machine that tunes things based on weird settings. That one's interesting too. But then you just have a monster that attacks you when you don't look at it, a monster that attacks you when you do look at it. My favorite ones are the spaces that don't exist / exist in undefinable ways. Clash of Clans porn. Why did you just say that, Duke? Why did you pollute my chat with that? Okay, horror combat. Yeah, a hell of a lot of it. It's horrifying just how much combat there is. You'll fight battles against swirling flesh beasts, hordes of shambling undead, spherical death machines, massive devouring water beasts. Devourers? Water beasts? What does that mean? They look more like flesh beasts to me. Sorry, lumpen imitation. Lumpen, is that a word? Lumpen meaning? Uninterested in revolutionary advancement in Marxist contexts. What? What does lumpen mean? Is that a typo? Where was that? Lumpen imitations of human beings. I think probably my favorite was the Architect SCP-184. I'm not sure which one that is. Well, anyways, the lumpen imitations of human beings. And many more sanity-shredding perils. It's really just a lot of combat. Use the monster against your normal... Wait, use the monsters against your normal human and mechanoid foes where you can. The Nokia Sphere. SCP-184 just forever expands whatever space it's in? Like, the space itself? Or are you talking about the machine thing that squeals in people's brains and demands and people feel an irresistible urge to throw machinery into it? Materials may get changed like entire rooms of nails or glass. Huh. Okay, let's see. When a great hole opens in the ground, you must venture into the caves below. Kill the massive creature that lurks beneath and escape before the collapse. Like, it's just a flesh mass heart underground on your map. Capture and study dark entities in your facility. To defeat the monolith's manifestations, you must gain their power. Build a grand containment facility so you can capture monsters, study them, and exploit them. Expand it with stronger walls, floors, and doors to keep them secure. Exploit your captives to use their power against your enemies. Don't push them too far. What? Harvest the new bioferrite resources from your menagerie to craft experimental serums, flamethrowers, and Hellcat rifles, flesh-mutating pulsers, insanity-inducing weapons, and other void-powered tools. I think what they're doing with this new DLC is they're going in exactly the opposite direction they did with Anomaly. Anomaly is very thematic, and it fell into being a very specific type of playthrough that doesn't have utility in the base game, like doesn't have utility in any other way. And it looks like the new DLC, Odyssey, is going exactly the opposite direction of that. Adding a whole bunch of like basic features that have needed to be added for a long time. In that way, it might end up being a really good DLC, or it might be like a weird sort of knee-jerk thing. And just not be very fleshed out. They might not get what made Anomaly bad. Although they tend to take player feedback in a lot. Like Anomaly is just not very good because they didn't add anything really unique. It's just a lot of monsters. And if they add a bunch of biomes, they're not gonna be an interesting addition if they don't have features that differentiate them from the biomes that already exist. Same thing with the quests. Same thing with the like different animals. If they don't add anything that's going to expand the base games, like how it works. I'm trying to explain this weirdly. Really engage with Anomaly. Yeah, that's everybody past their first Anomaly playthrough. Like, adding variety is important. Hopefully the variety will be variety rather than the same thing but reskinned. Even if the new DLC isn't that fleshed out, it'll still add content to the anemic sections. Yeah, that's true. Anomaly, you just don't do anything with unless you're playing with Anomaly. Let's see. Capture and study dark entities. The containment facilities are uninteresting in the extreme. It's just build a room with specific objects in it. That's very limiting. Like, I think it would be a lot better if it was instead of being based on like having a big entity containment facility and having specific machines and stuff. I feel like the entity containment should just be based on like say durability and of walls and like number of doors between the thing and the outside. It should be really open, because as it stands, you have to do things that limit your creativity, like layering down bioferrite flooring. Like you can't like, I understand it's such a potentially interesting idea, but because of how limited you are in creatively expressing it, it ends up very bland. So if they didn't have such specific requirements for the entity containment, it might be a little bit more interesting. Like, maybe the only things that affect the entity containment are like the holding platform and maintenance, or durability of walls, like I said. Because then it would at least be themed. You'd have to build something out of thick materials. Maybe build it away from your base. But as it stands, it's just bland and forces you down a narrow path. The weapons aren't very interesting. Like, some of them are quite good, but good weapons, like powerful weapons, aren't a very... Actually, you know what? No, I'll say adding the weapons was good, and the weapons are interesting as far as RimWorld weapons are concerned. Just having a little like jet, like a little flamer reserve for them is pretty cool. the biggest issue with this is just getting the Bioferrite to craft them, because then you have to interact with Anomaly. It doesn't really expand the general variety in every game. Fight the cultists who serve the machine mine. Macabre cultists will come and perform their psychic rituals with suicidal commitment. Destroy them before they abduct your people, summon bloody beasts, or just drive you mad. I haven't actually seen these events. Use psychic rituals for your own purposes. All I know is enemies spawn along the edge of the map and then do something. We don't need powerful weapons, we just need more shit weapons for the raiders to use. Yeah, that would be good too. Just a variety of different like cooldowns and aiming times would help. Or and ranges and like burst counts. You already have a lot of ways to make the weapons unique, like just based on that. Say, you know, you could have like a really precise burst fire weapon that takes a long time to cool down. It would be a very specific type of weapon. It'd be like a fucking Bozar from Fallout. I might slime myself off while keeping your stream on. Have fun jerking it to my voice. But yeah, just having a bunch of weird makeshift weapons, or maybe having like weapons that have a jam chance, or weapons that slow you down a lot worse, or weapons that can occasionally cause you injuries. Like if the unique weapon system that they're adding to Odyssey includes things like that, like negative modifiers, that would also be good. Seductive. Be good for me, dude. Alrighty, hold on. That's so like nondescript. Be good for me, Duke. I don't really feel. I feel like that's something that you whisper into someone's ear, but not something that you just say standalone. Maybe a full auto, which has long range but terrible accuracy, full praying spray. See, that would be cool because you could theme an entire raider faction around extremely fast firing but inaccurate weapons. It did do something for me. Good. All right. Well, thanks, Esmond. Alright, let's see. In the new endgame, the world will go insane. And by that, you of course mean a lot of monsters that you have to fight will spawn. All will be in darkness as terror squirms in the shadows. Monsters that you have to fight that just run towards you and fight you. Only then may you face the machine god and choose your fate. And by that, they mean click a prompt and choose one or two. Yeah, no, this didn't, like, the DLC just didn't live up to what they were saying. Like, technically everything is right, but not spiritually. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Big Head. Right. Do more if I were able to kiss you after, but I think that would warrant a kiss from me. I'd be the one kissing. I am the one who kisses. I am the one who smooch. A big head for big head. Not in your case. Big head for small head. Could add event chains with long-lasting consequences for the end. Yeah, I mean, RimWorld quests are uninteresting. It would be so easy to create a quest that has like 2 different optional quests, and then the optional quest, you take one, it locks you out of the other, and then 2 more optional quests and it locks you out of the other. The thing is, the ending is just text for every one of the endings. Like, it's just a you win screen, essentially. So you can do a hell of a whole lot with that. Like, because it's so simple, you can do a great deal with it. That's why games like Fallout have those sorts of endings. It means you can detail a whole lot of stuff, but you don't detail a whole lot of stuff in RimWorld. There's no options for it. If you just had a few branching quests, it would be so easy to make like a batch of, say, 8 quests that are unique to it, and then you branch off once, and then you branch off again, and then you branch off a third time. Or the 8 quests? No, that would be. Hold on. Let's say the starting quest. You do like a starting quest, and then you choose one of 2 paths. 3 quests, and then 4 for that. Yeah, that would be 9. Or wait, am I stupid? That would be, that would be 7 quests. God. You're a winner. I'll give Twitch more cowards. Eris could stream with her tits out. Yeah, I would definitely do. Well, I do naked model streams, I guess. Even with the over an hour of crashing and restarting my computer, I'd say the stream's actually gone pretty well past that point. I've been having a lot of fun. I guess my enthusiasm carried over, so they redirected it. Oh fuck, I'm really looking forward to that Korean barbecue tomorrow. Holy shit. Me and like everyone in my head have agreed that each of us is getting time out during the barbecue. We're gonna eat slow because everybody is going to come out and pick a food they want to eat. Cute when you're enthusiastic. Thank you. I think it increases my natural charm. Glad you managed to recover from the fucked start. Yeah, me too. I was honestly thinking about just ending the stream, being like, fuck it, I can't do this today. But Rose was basically like, Eris, do the stream. You'll regret it if you don't. Just do chatting. If you can't think of anything else. Doesn't increase your natural charm. Thank you. Rose has been very good at pushing me through, like, struggling to do shit. For me, it's like a lot of my issues doing shit is just I'll get discouraged really easily. Dang, get your dopamine, you little beans. I don't even know what that's in response to. I guess in lieu of the RuneScape and RimWorld, something that I could probably get into really heavily is Cataclysm. Like, I've tried to get into it plenty of times, but I don't think I was going about it the right way. I think I was trying to rely on the theme and, like, character to drive my enthusiasm, but I need to not do that. I need to rely on my own driving my enthusiasm. And now that we've identified that I've sort of been going about it poorly, it will be a lot easier for me to get enthusiastic about the stuff. I know how to do things that will help me get enthusiastic about it. and I've been watching a Cataclysm playthrough. I've been trying to immerse myself in it a little bit, even if I'm not playing it, and it's been driving me towards it steadily. I feel like the dream I had increased my horny. I want some horny dreams. That would be great. I don't know why I never get them. Why are horny dreams so rare for me? Horny is so common. Oh yeah, and pushing through the difficulty, it makes me think that Rose doing things to me later is going to be very rewarding. I almost never have horny dreams either. Yeah, what the hell? I wonder if there's, like, we've tried influencing our dreams in a lot of ways. Our dreams are weirdly difficult to influence. It seems like pretty much everyone that I've seen talking about their experiments with lucid dreaming ends up being able to lucid dream, but Olderis did it for years, did like practices for lucid dreaming for years and could never do it. The only lucid dreams we've had that were like one that we woke up from quickly, and one that and a couple that Raz had, like specifically Raz, and like it's just, it feels like there's no way to get to it. Had like 6 total horny dreams in my life. I've had a lot more than that, but I've also focused on dreams a lot more. Never had a wet dream. I've had 1 wet dream. For a job, very well done, kitty. The closest I had was making out and having my dick rub open. So wait, what? I was gonna fuck you up this stream. Yes. Skill issue. Even the parts rats have lucid dream. Why the fuck can't I? It's aggravating. I've spent years trying to fucking lucid dream. Years. Primal can lucid dream too, or at least used to be able to. I don't understand. It's like I don't keep my presence. I don't keep my presence of mind when I fall asleep, like ever. I feel like it would be fine if someone else in our head could do it, because I just want to know what it's like. Just no luck. Tried lucid dreaming a bit over a year, I think. No luck whatsoever. Song's name is Hot Spaghetti. The next one is Cold Spaghetti. Huh. The next one is Meatophobia. What names for these? Fucking wish I could post like half of the stuff on my desktop to the server, but unfortunately a large portion of it is TOS violations. From the lava level is Cold Spaghetti from an ice level. Let's check Discord. Oh hey, another really good bit of porn that I can't post to the server. Thanks. That is good though. Yeah, it's Pizza Tower. Cold Spaghetti is from Refrigerator, Refrigerador, And Freezerator, themed around being in a massive freezer with box food. Oh, huh. So an ice level. As I said. You could have just said yes. Looking up red-haired succubi, you're free to wonder why. I couldn't begin to imagine. Flexing my memory working for once. Ah, okay. Well, here, I'll give you head pats for your brain working. Pat, 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 pat. Good boy. What the hell? Oh, I didn't see that message you're responding to. And I saw at the beginning Sherry 45 Gobshark one. I was like, who the fuck is that? I thought it was a username. I skipped over no. Thought it said replying to Sherry. So I guess I'll immerse myself in Cataclysm and hope to Christ that works properly. I mean, it's a somewhat resource-intensive game, but not in the graphics department at all. As long as it's not using up a bunch of power. God, I'll have to test it on stream, which means I'm gonna have to set everything up for stream for it. I mean, I suppose I could just play it on stream and see, but see all of Duke's sex toys. She doesn't have any sex toys. She's sex toyless. Stuff you're sending is quite cute. I really check the tracking page for my dildo like 5 times a day, even though I know logically it only changes once a day or so. Yeah, I mean, when you're waiting for things like that and you're all excited, it's just over and over. Looks like Dom Eris though, I'll have a pretty high quality one. So, is this Flory or Avery? Well, good fucking luck. I'm hoping it comes before work on Friday because I work for the next 3 days after that and might be too tired. Proper fucking myself. Yeah, that would be unfortunate. How do you mean by that? I mean, I've said already, like, you don't really dom in the way that doms me effectively. So you're gonna have to change your entire approach. And I'm not really someone who gets dommed easily on top of that. Like, you kind of have to match me or it's not gonna work. Haven't had the energy for domming anyone for a while. Yeah, I've lost a lot of the energy to dom people, but I've retained a lot of the mannerisms. Right now I'm pretty much exclusively a sub. That's why Avery was so exhausted from it. Yeah, it's still fucking do it. If you want to try, go ahead. But I'm not gonna like, I'm trying very hard to just say what's on my mind now. I just don't think, I think it'll end up, I think at worst it may end up degrading your confidence and you expending a bunch of energy with no real payout. Like, I don't want to say that's exactly what'll happen, but when people struggle against these sorts of things, it tends to be like that. You know how it is. Ever so rarely the mood strikes, but even when it does, it takes some real effort. It's just it's kind of the nature of the beast. It's doing sexual stuff requires a lot of emotional investment. Like, regardless of what sort of sexual stuff it is, it almost always requires a lot of emotional investment. It's, especially early on, pretty much guaranteed to wipe you out. And if you get wiped out on something that feels like you're hitting your head against a wall, and on top of that you're in a highly emotional state, it doesn't tend to lead to good things. That's a big reason why we've been trying very hard to just go with the flow of, like, what immediately strikes us. Like, the things that immediately pop into our head in terms of horny stuff are usually the things that work out. And, like, I don't mean, like, pop into our head like we get an idea about it. I mean, like, it's the thing that we think of when horny stuff is mentioned. Like, it's our natural proclivity, our instincts. I want to try one last time again, though, if you're up for that. I'm up for it. I don't know, like, you're gonna have to take the lead. I'm not a very, like, I need someone in control of me, when they're dominating. Alright, if the mood strikes, alrighty. If I ever feel up for it, I'll let you know. Decent chance that won't be ever, though. They're gonna get rosed after the stream, I assume. I am. Really, like, the best time to do it would be when I'm already having it done to me. I don't know about today, though, because I need to cool down after the stream. It was, and also build up for tomorrow. Like, the crashing and stuff genuinely got my blood boiling. And I mean, I'm speaking a lot more impassioned than I usually do. Probably partly because of that. I'm busy once you stop streaming, I think. Okie doke. Fucking lumping. But yeah, I haven't been doming anyone recently. It's just been Rose doming me. Like, did things to Raz like a week ago. It was kind of to help us make up with each other a bit, and for me to try to get over some of my fear. Now that I mention, like, that sort of fear, it made me think of like old Eris's fear level versus mine. Even just thinking about it, I'm like, I had the instinct to say I'm a really fearful person or something like that. But then I sort of thought about it for a second. I'm like, almost everything that old Eris would have been freaked out by, like even mentioning improving stream, she felt like she had an obligation to do it if she talked about it, and that led to her not doing it out of like worry that she'd be held accountable for it. And it's not reasonable or rational in the slightest. It's, you know, it's fear. It doesn't tend to be. But it's really nice that I don't have that sort of stuff. At least not for a lot of the stuff that she did. I think seeing Avery do it makes me feel like it can fall that direction. Yeah, that's I feel like I think I at one point wanted to say that, like after she dommed me. I think I wanted to say that to you, but I thought it would be insensitive, and I was worried it would just like fuel a potential complex, like being compared to your like older brother or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like a feeling of why couldn't you do it like they do it? It's understandable because I do have that complex. Ding dong, throw your fetish feet into the meat blender. What the fuck are you talking about, Noel? Fetish feet? No, none of us have that fetish except for Esmond, and he should be ashamed of himself. Also, at the same time, I realize the best way to learn is seeing someone do something right. That's exactly like that's something that old Eris tried to like get across to you a lot, but just couldn't seem to. She would like dom you in a and basically like thinking it was a way that you could learn from it, because she learned from getting dommed originally. But I think I don't know if this was her old, like how she put the things, or if it was just a misinterpretation of how she was talking, or I don't know. But she was always worried that it would seem like she was saying, like, why can't you do it this way, rather than trying to nudge you in that direction. Guess I'm in defeat, and no, I'm not ashamed. Well, you should be. Not mystery liquid, a minor concussion. Jesus Christ, Noel, you certainly live a life, don't you? Hard to learn when it's happening to me, you know. For me, it's very, very easy to learn. So that's just what I kind of assumed. That time period was quite different, that's true. It was very much tumultuous for both of us. I've had a pretty big share of concussions myself. I know there's not really such a thing as a minor one in anything other than real danger. Jesus. You've had a bunch of concussions? That fucking sucks. Yeah, minor concussions are like concussions are just not good. Go figure, your brain bouncing around in its case is not good. And old Eris had to basically drag her ex to the hospital after they slammed their head into a wall in frustration. And they had a fucking concussion, go figure. They were showing signs of a concussion, and she was like, no, we're going to the fucking doctor. You don't get a say in this right now. Your life could be in danger. You might be bleeding in your brain. This isn't a thing you're gonna argue about. Keep getting really unlucky with head injuries. No real specific reason, just shit luck, jeez. I wouldn't be happy if I had a singular concussion in my life. I've never had a concussion, thankfully. Try not to have concussions if possible. It can contribute to other shit. Like fucking Alzheimer's. Tomorrow, Korean barbecue buffet. Oh my god, that's gonna be amazing. It'll be right after a big fuck too, so I have a feeling I'm gonna feel all soft and fuzzy and happy tomorrow. Everything from a rock breaking in a specific way that hit me in the head, to just when I was play wrestling with my brother and my nephew punched him in the balls when he had me in the air, hit my head on the arm of the couch, and so on. Jesus. Series of unfortunate events. On that note, I assume headbutting in a fight should be reserved for a last resort. Headbutting should not be done head on head. That's something that people always seem to get wrong. You don't hit someone's skull with your skull. You bash their nose in with your skull. And that doesn't really do much to you except potentially cut your forehead, which can be an issue in a fight, but generally a headbutt to the nose is enough to take someone out of a fight. They're very, very jarring, and on top of that, heavily fuck up people's breathing, and they're very painful. But head on head, you'll just crack your skull doing that. It's stupid. You don't do that. That couch one was probably the worst. I was so disoriented, I don't remember the pain. Considering it had me over 6 feet in the air and the arm of the couch was solid wood. Jesus fucking Christ. But the movies. A goat did a running jump off the trampoline directly into my head. That does sound like goat behavior, yeah. I didn't even know I was bleeding for like 10 minutes. Yeah, that's yeah, that's a concussion sign right there. Really realizing how insanely good going for the body is. Oh yeah, yeah. A goat is batshit as horses. Yes, but a different flavor. Horses will rip your face off for no reason and then shit and die. Goats will sprint up a pile of garbage and stand on your roof and go "Rah, rah," in the middle of the morning. Or early in the morning. I have a scar, a tiny bald spot in the back of my head where the scar is. More harmless kind of batshit? Not necessarily. They're smaller, which means they're less harmful. But as Null indicated, their shenanigans are not necessarily harmless. They will also just like think that your ass is particularly aggressive that day and decide to ram their head into it at full force. And now you have a broken ass bone because the goat was a little bit too aggressive. And work around a goat insanity. A horse, no way to work around that. You just get fucked. Yeah, that's fair. Goats are small and relatively easy to manage, apart from the fact that they get out of any cage and eat basically anything. The guts are good enough for it. But horses, like, horses will destroy everything in the vicinity. They'll just, like, a bee will land on their butt and they'll see it and they'll, like, start fucking kicking out both legs and spinning around in a circle, destroying everything in the area. Friend got back to me on that browser question. Supposedly Libre Wolf is the best for RAM usage, but they personally advocate for Firefox. I'll probably stick to more standard ones, just because I know them. and familiarity bias is strong. Didn't know there was a Libre browser. I don't know what Libre is. Hey, Eris, I'm erecting this penis in your honor. Send pics to the Discord. Here's the Discord. Makes Microsoft Word and shit except free and better. Ah, interesting. Maybe I should look into that for like keeping notes and shit. Rather not yet, I'm unshaven. Shave and post your dickus in the Discord. Lio was very tempted to send a nude to the Discord about a week back. Oh, interesting. Was that when we were saying, yeah, totally do it, about that particular topic? To be honest, like, if you don't expect anything from it, it will increase your confidence. If you expect things from it, it might not. It might heavily decrease your confidence. I would say if you want to do that, do it as a personal challenge, or like a this thing makes me feel cute, but just don't expect anyone else to. I expect insults to be on it. Well, geez. Are you gonna get off on the insults? I doubt that people are gonna insult you in the Discord, at least. I'm pretty insecure about my body. Yeah, that's understandable. I feel like that's the average person in the server. I'm a lot less insecure about my body than Aldaris was, but I also didn't grow up in it. I don't have as many like memories of being called a fat ass in elementary school. Stretch marks, it's like how my skin hangs, for lack of a better word. They have a lot of stretch marks too. Not so much hanging skin, but I kind of remain in the same weight bracket for long periods of time. It's hard to get out of it. It's like my metabolism is very steady. No matter what I'm doing, like what exercise routine I take on, whatever, like what diet I'm doing, it always stays within a very small range. It's frustrating because that range happens to include a little bit of a gut that I don't want. This body is so fucking hot to be. Well, thank you. That does make me feel good. I don't know. People have said that it's very hard to feel it, though, you know? Like, I don't have many good associations with my body, even if I don't have all of the hang-ups that Aldaris did. I'm not the same weight for a long time as well. Gained some when I couldn't walk and lost like the same amount when I started being able to again. So I could do very hot pot. I don't know if I told you this, but for the first time I thought you, I said, holy fuck, it's built for sex? Really? Seriously? I mean, it's a machine that turns dicks into sucked dicks, but I don't know. I'm not exactly fit. I don't know. I mean, it's flattering. It's definitely flattering. I'm pretty sure I came to a few times to nudes, unironically. I'm not normally too into nudes on there. Well, fucking hell. I mean, I've been thinking about doing lewd streams. It'd have to be on Discord. I haven't thought much about appearing on camera. I've thought about, like, taking pics and videos, but this is also a really small area to do it in. There's a reason I jerked off so much to it when you sent it. Just when I sent it, you jerk off to like, you jerk off to that stuff regularly, don't you? It's so cute. Fuck off. Fuck you. At the time, I'll happily show up to any lewd streams. Yeah, I think I said earlier in the stream that considering I have like a built-in cum trigger, I could just lock that behind like $10 or something. $10 to make me squeal and squirm. Just once every 3 months, I'll say. Didn't you say you jerked off like probably over 100 times to my nudes? You fucking crazy person. I can't jerk off to humans, to be honest. Like, it's hard for me to identify what makes someone's sexy to other people, because I honestly just don't find live action porn to be appealing, like, in almost every respect. It shorts, like, clips of, like, cute femboys fucking fleshlights, that's hot, but like, I don't know, it's just, human bodies are weird. In person it's different because it's in person, it's just different. Like, it's a lot more focused on tactile and smell and set your sense of touch and a bunch of other things that are very much not just sight. For ding dong, remember to join the Discord to ding your dong. Your head got ding dong pretty hard, huh? Fucking goat concussion. That's what I'm gonna change the name of the stream to. Goat concussion. Usually when I jerk off to people, it's gotta be a kink I really like. Also fursuits. Fursuits are uncanny in sexual contexts. For me, it's the emotional connection, how hot you are, and how openly lewd you are. Open lewdness definitely increases someone's, like, sex appeal to me. So, like, regardless of what they look like, the more openly sexual they are, like, confidently sexual, like, even if they're pretty awkward about it, it increases how sexy they are to me by a lot. I really just don't care much about people's looks, like, practically speaking. Thoughts on protogens? Pretty sure Esmond posted a bunch of protogens, like, within the last couple weeks. Good children get to play with the dildo wheel. Oh my god! The dildo wheel! I forgot that was a thing. Oh my fucking god. Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure I could find that picture. Dildo. Dildo. Oh. No. It's just pics of my ass with a dildo in it. Pics of a couple MLP horses with dildos up their asses. Mouse reviewing a dildo. Hold on, let me just see this one. Oh, my flawed lover dildo hands. A book title. This is me searching for things on my computer if you couldn't tell. What was this one? Finally tried the dildo. God, this thing is amazing. My legs are still shaking. Alright. I wish Mouse would come back. That would be cool. Anyways, I couldn't find the dildo wheel. Basically, it was a thing that Piri talked about. It was like a sex ed thing, where they basically attached a bunch of like standard normal dildos to like a spinning thing as a way to practice putting condoms on or something like that. Oh my fucking god. It'll be the lore master, I take it. Yeah, Miss Mouse, yeah. Ask her if she still has it. Oh my god. Hold on, let me just... She drew it and sent me the picture. Wheel, maybe? No items. Piri? Not on here either. Damn. Do I... Hold on. Let me just check something real quick. You're gonna get a free redeem. Hold on. Okay, yeah, those are hers. Right. She may have sent me her panties, and I'm wearing them on my model. Thanks for that. Yeah, no problem. Got an email that my dildo should be here Friday. Nice. God, I'm getting hungry. I ate half that bowl of soup like right when I got up, and then a half at around 6. So I'm actually quite hungry. It's been almost 4 hours. I'm probably gonna call it quits shortly. Are you gonna Use it immediately or wash it first. You should wash it first, naturally. I'm hungry too. Time to eat crusty burgers. Is there anything that you eat that isn't like a week old? God, I really can't wait for that Korean barbecue. Holy shit. Tomorrow's gonna be wonderful. Burgers are only 1 day old. Ew. Why are they crusty? You not wrap them up properly? Crusty because burnt on grill. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. That's a little bit more acceptable. So let me wash cotton candy. What? Let me wash my cotton candy average record. What the fuck are you saying? Is that? Are you trying to make like a Bad Dragon dildo name or something? In any case, anybody who gets dildos, anybody who gets sex toys, wash them before you put them in your butt or various other orifices. Like sometimes they're packaged in like a drying agent, so like baby powder or something, so that they don't absorb moisture during transit. Raccoons wash their food, and it's a joke if you give them cotton candy and it makes them sad. Aww. Oh, hold on. I might want to watch that. Raccoon, cotton, candy. So adorable and sad. I need to see this now. I'm assuming this is gonna work. There we go. Alright. Alright, let's watch. Oh, he looks so distraught. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Oh, this poor boy. Is this the same raccoon over and over? Okay, yeah, he learned. Oh my goodness. Precious little trash bandit. Raccoons are such fellas. Alright, I'm gonna see who there is to raid, because I don't want to completely wipe myself out. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna call it quits then. By the way, I did a brief look at Libre browser. It's just an open source version of Firefox as far as I can tell, with a lot of helpful features. Okie dokie. Yeah, changing my browser would definitely be... Did I write that down? I didn't. Change my browser to save on memory. Hope you had a good stream. Yeah, I did. It started off... It tends to be like that. It starts off really shitty for one reason or another, and then becomes really good. It's probably just like the difference between the low and the high that makes it the high higher. But yeah, whatever it was, the high was pretty high. And also I'm high and probably go lay down for a bit. Thanks for stream and being masturbation material. Yeah, no problem. Have fun jerking it, you coomer. Jeremy, Massachusetts is playing White Knuckle again. Oh my god. I watched the entire 2-hour like video he posted, Jerma, of White Knuckle. I feel like I could watch him playing it for like 20 hours straight. Very proud of you salvaging it. Yee, adorable and adaptive cutie, perfect fleshlight material. I mean, I won't deny that. You know what? I'll just leave it at that. There we go. Put it on while Rose ravages you. I'm not gonna watch Jerma scream and flail about in panic while I'm getting my pussy eaten out. Or getting all the way through by a tentacle. Jesus. Okay, tonight's gonna be good. Tomorrow's gonna be good. Alright, I'm gonna head off now. Follow me, sub if you can. It'll go right to my computer. What is my heart, witch milf? What? What is my heart, witch milf? Damn it! Can't understand half the shit you're saying today. Alrighty. Bye bye everyone. Ta ta. Pat pat pat. Bye bye.